Hello, everybody. This is John Tayer, and I welcome you to another one of our weekly edition of Chamber Chat, where it's our opportunity during this very difficult and challenging COVID-19 response period to connect with our local businesses, including our valued chamber members, to talk to them about what we're doing to help address your needs during this difficult period and to make sure you have the information you need to protect and sustain your business during this difficult period. So the first thing I want to make sure is clear, and it was a little bit confusing as we went through the week, that we are now under a state emergency order. That is the primary controlling authority on what are the businesses and that can operate during this period. So we're working now with Boulder County officials to make sure that we are interpreting correctly what are termed essential businesses that are appropriate to operate during this COVID response period. Now, there are a couple things that we're doing along those lines. First, as to broad industry sectors, let's say it's military and Department of Defense businesses, or food service and access. Those are industries that we want to make sure are covered under this essential business activity during this period. So we're making sure to advocate on behalf of those broad industries. But I know that each individual business has questions about whether or not they can operate. So we have two sources of information. One, we have a Q&A for frequently asked questions on our website at boulderchamber.com. Please check that out and we'll make sure to update that regularly. We also have a number to connect with Boulder County officials directly that can answer your questions and help you understand if you're interpreting the emergency order correctly. That number is 720-776-0822. And they assure us that though it may be busy for them at this front end, that they will get back to individual businesses to make sure that they know whether or not they are able to operate during this emergency response period. Now, a second thing that we're working on, and is a priority for us, and that is making sure that we get financial resources to our businesses so that they can sustain during this difficult period. And we're doing that in conjunction with a broad group of partners, but there's no more important partner that we have than the Small Business Development Center. And I have to say that we are very fortunate in Boulder County to have the leadership of literally the recognized national best SBDC director, and that is Sharon King, the executive director of the Boulder Small Business Development Center. And we're fortunate to have her with us today to answer some of our questions and let you know how you might be able to access resources immediately and what to expect going forward into the near future. So I'm going to hand it off to Sharon. Thank you for being with us, Sharon.
It's my pleasure, John, and thank you for this such a nice introduction. So, hi, I'm Sharon King. I'm the Executive Director of the Boulder Small Business Development Center, SBDC. We're a nonprofit that basically supports small business in any way that's needed, and we have a different answer to that in the last couple of weeks. Part of our local we're part of the local collaboration, including the Boulder Chamber, the City of Boulder, all of our partners. We're one of 15 centers in Colorado, and we all roll up into the Governor's Office of Economic Development. So we have a lot of resources there that we can tap into directly. And then we're one of about 1,000 SBDCs across the country. So we have resources there as well. Basically, we do everything through three prongs: consulting, workshops and programs, connection to resources. Consulting is free, and we're here to help you. So we really would like to hear from you what you need. Right now, for the situation at hand, we're focusing quite a bit on funding for small businesses. And the first tool that we have to use is the SBA EIDL loan. SBA is the U.S. Small Business Administration. EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL. It's the one that has been operating for a couple of weeks now that you've probably heard about. We have lots of resources to help you. A lot of it, people like to do it yourself and just get on with it. And we want to create resources and have Spanish and English so that you can do this yourself. And I'm going to give you two websites right now: BoulderSBDC.com, which is our local site, and we'll have everything local, and ColoradoSBDC.org. And that is a website that's being kept up to date at the state level. All centers around the state are putting into it. It's constantly updated with new information. Okay, second tool in the toolkit is going to end up being the new CARES Act that hopefully is getting passed as we speak, John. We'll know all about that, and we'll get the information, the same kind of toolkits out for that resources as well. And then we look for other funding opportunities. And they need to be loans, they may be grants, they may be all kinds of programs that people are being very creative these days. So look for our website. John talked about the Facebook page that I'm sure he'll mention again before we stop. And we're all trying to collaborate and get information to you as quickly as possible. We are doing a live stream webinar series. And once we record it, it's up on our website to listen to. So you're welcome to listen to the recording that happened past Wednesday, March 25th. The topic is financial health. The one coming up this Wednesday is defensive marketing, and it will include some ideas that you may not already have heard of that you will be able to use to keep your business relevant. That's going to be an ongoing weekly. Just check the website and the Facebook page, and you'll be able to connect to that. We always have a consulting team on hand. Really high bar, high level, high caliber folks that will help small businesses of all types. We're expanding that team and building our disaster consulting team as we speak. I'm a little worried about saying this because I know everybody wants to help, but if you meet the criteria I'm going to give you in a minute, really would like to help, please let us know. So basically, if you have a banking background, a finance background, accounting background, finance especially, plus, and this is a big plus, you really need to understand people, like people, have a lot of patience and kindness. We set a very high bar for this group. Above all, you have to respect small business and the risk that people take in small business. If you are interested, please forgive me if we can't get to everybody right away, but depending on the demand, we may. Email is sharon.king@bouldersbdc.com. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. John, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to let you know what we're doing. And I'm here in my City of Boulder house. I have my beverage cart behind me. We're waiting for the time when we can have a beverage together. Thank you.
Cheers to you, Sharon. And thank you so much for your amazing work. I know you have an excellent team at the SBDC, and you're always a great resource for businesses, but particularly during this very difficult period. You are a great avenue for, again, revenue resources and those consulting services you mentioned. And as we discussed, we have on Facebook our Boulder Resource Group. Make sure you go to that Boulder Area United Business Resource Group, and that's where we'll post also this request for consultants. So make sure to check out that resource for yourself. Other great opportunities too to support businesses on that Facebook page. So I'm just going to close it down here because we know all of you have a lot of work you're doing right now, and you need to get back to focus on your businesses, on your families, and to make sure to keep our community solid and stable going forward. So I'm only going to conclude by saying we have been following this crisis with all of you. We're all in this together, as we say. And as you may have noticed, if you look up on Flagstaff Mountain, we've decided to relight the Boulder Star. And we've done that as a sign of inspiration for all of us. We know this is a challenge. We know that it's going to be a difficult period to get through. But if we stay united, if we continue to collaborate, I know We're going to get through it and come out as strong as we need to continue to recover and build a vital economy and a vital community for the future. So hang with us, everybody. Let's keep going. We'll see you next week on Chamber Chats.